Hiya.
Hello.
Welcome to the Geeky Girls Knit and Cross Stitch podcast / FlossTube. I'm Cece, also known as Java Pearl.
I'm Dammy, also known as Dammy's Doodles.
And we're glad to have you today. Today is Friday the 13th of December. That means you're 20 years and 2 months old.
Wow.
2019, and this is episode 374. It's like the first real full episode we've recorded in 3 weeks. And just forewarning, it's probably going to be a long one. Just saying. We'd like to say a big welcome back. We love you guys, to all our returning viewers, and a big hiya to any new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. Why can I not talk today? A shot. We hope you enjoy the show. Dammy, if somebody is not a member of our Ravelry group, what should they do and why?
You should join our group on Ravelry and introduce yourself in our introductions thread, because you'll get a shout out on our next episode and be able to participate in all our alongs and giveaways.
That's right. Well, as I said, we have quite a bit to talk about today, so we probably should get started. Here we go.
Now we're going to talk about what's on her needles.
Because you have nothing on your needles. Yeah. She just finished finals. She'll tell us about it in a minute. Actually, you could tell us about it right now, because normally we talk about your craft here. So, how was your last week of school and finals week since we saw you last?
Lots of stuff.
Yeah. How did you do on your finals? Good. What did you have to perform?
Scenes from Twelfth Night by Shakespeare, and then a scene from Emma's Child by Christine Thatcher.
Interesting. Okay, and you're excited about your break.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a class that you're most looking forward to in the winter quarter? Auditioning, yeah. Yep. Okay, well, what I have on my needles is Christmas slippers for my bestie Katie's little boy, Izzy. This is the same pattern that I used to knit birthday slippers for my niece and nephews. It's the Bed Peds pattern by Yvonne Mendelsohn, and I modified it to do it toe up instead of cuff down. Are you calling for Pinky?
I'm trying to without being distracted.
Mm-hmm. They're on US 5, 3.75 mil, and US 7's 4.5 mil, and the yarn is, it looks really dark. There we go, that's a little truer. Knitology Glowing Worsted in the Pachyderm colorway and Red Heart Soft in the light gray heather colorway. So I'm going to be using the same yarn to knit slippers for his big brother Noah. And so to make them easier to tell apart, Izzy's will have the rolled cuff and Noah's will have just a normal ribbed cuff. So one done, I need to get the other one cast on and get started on it. That's the only thing I'm actively working on my needles right now, because I have a lot of cross stitch. But I finished a lot of projects since we talked to y'all last. So let's move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about her finished projects.
Yep. So y'all haven't seen officially my finished Nanny Swimo sweater. So this was my Nanny Swimo 2019 Strange Brew cardigan. It's the Strange Brew pattern by Tin Can Knits on US 4 3.5 mil and US 6's 4 mil needles using Barocco Vintage Decay in the blush white, black, and cracked pepper colorways. I ended up somewhere, I think, in excess of 90,000 stitches.
Wow.
It had to be 50,000. I was sitting down when I put this on, so I don't know that it's laying exactly correctly. I fell a couple days ago and banged up my knee. So, such is life. So, steeking happened. I can't remember even where I was last time I showed y'all. The steeking happened. It got finished knitted. I sewed in ribbon on the inside. It's got buttons, and I love it. It's not, I don't intend to ever wear it buttoned. So, that's just for looksies, but I'm pleased with it. I've already picked out next year's sweater. The Sinister cardigan. I can't remember what her name is that designed it, but it is another steeked pattern, but it only has color work up here, and it's a bunch of Sinister cats. So, and it's done with fingering weight yarn instead of DK. Yeah, DK, which is his. So we will take some good pictures of it at some point. I just haven't had. I mean, like I took a picture of it like laying down, but I haven't taken pictures of me wearing it yet. So we will do that. And then the other things that I finished is I got caught up on preemie hats. So these are all from my top-down preemie hat pattern that you can find for free on Ravelry. And I did them on US 6's 4mm needles. So hat number 46 used big twists and sincerely ombres in the cupcake confetti colorway. Hat 47 used Lion Brand Colorwaves DK in the acorn colorway and Reynolds Playtime in the tan colorway. Hat number 48 used Patton's Fab DK in the raspberry colorway. Even though this is not raspberry, we've had this discussion before. This is Superman. And hat number 49 used Patton's Croy Sock in the blue striped rag colorway and Reynolds Playtime in the tan colorway. And so I am now caught up on preemie hats. I guess that means I have 3 more to go, because there's 52 Sundays this year. So 3 more hats, and I will be done with 52 hats for the year. Well, that is everything that I finished. So let's move on to the next segment. And now it's time for FlossTube. Dammy, have you worked on your cross stitch?
No, it's sitting here, but I'm tired.
Yeah, I know.
The bag just... Where's my water bottle? The bag just sat on my desk while I did all my final stuff. And then it was like, haha, you have to take me home now, even though you haven't worked on me at all.
But you'll work on it while you're here. Yeah. Okay, well, I have been doing a lot of cross stitch, y'all. So, let me think. Okay, because I want to tell y'all about School of Magical Stitches and Literature, because last week, for the very first time, I earned all the points that I was eligible to. So, okay, so first up, let's talk about Chicken Joy. So, Chicken Joy is a gift for a friend. I've got a really cool finishing thing that I'm going to do on it.
You're gonna give it to a chicken?
No, I'm not giving it to a chicken. So this is not a very big picture, but that's what it looks like. It's a pattern by Priscilla and Chelsea of the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch, Stitching with the Housewives. So let's see. I'm trying to make this floss where it's not covering up the picture. There we go. So this is where I have gotten to. So what I have left is to fill in the rest of the green, to put the red on the chicken's head and in the tail feathers, to do the beak, and then to just do Christmas lights. So all these little spots that are open are Christmas lights. But we decided, we had a discussion about it, that it was going to be better for me to do the green first. And then that way, if there's a red light here and then the next one's not to here, I can run my needle through the green stitches versus having to stop each time and weave it in. And does that make sense? So that is that. And so last week I had to do it as a penalty thing because I didn't have something that would do number 2, the second task, which I can't remember what it was. So I did 150 stitches on it. And then there had to be an item that started with the letter R and you had to stitch on it. So I did the rooster on Chicken Joy. I did 100 stitches on it. The bonus for last week was a whip that would make a good prison. So decided with the Chicken Joy, I did 218 stitches on it. There's a tree and there's Christmas lights. And so you could be tied to the tree with Christmas lights. I didn't say it was a good prison, but it could be a prison. And then this week so far, I did 200 stitches on it for, the prompt was you had to have twin projects so that they had the same theme. So this and my countdown to Christmas that I'll show you in a minute are both Christmas projects. They both have Christmas trees. They both have snowflakes. So I did that. And then I set Chicken Joy aside because I have a couple other things that are more pressing. The first one being the Country Cottage Needleworks Countdown to Christmas. And if you're watching my Vlogmas, you're seeing me do a square on this every day. So there's the pattern. I have not started on the houses yet, but I will. So each square has something related to Christmas in it. And I have done the first 12 squares. I'm really pleased with how it's come out. I'm not a fan of stitching on linen though, so I probably will not buy linen again. I prefer either Aida or an even weave. So with that, last week I used it as my second favorite whip and had to do 100 stitches on it. And then another prompt was the three brothers from the Deathly Hallows. You had to pick one of them, and there was characteristics listed. And so I chose the brother that was humble, and I stitched on this because it has a humble Christmas village on it. And then
Not the ones that were greedy.
Then I also use this one for the rest of the bonus for a whip that would make a good prison, because you could be under house arrest.
You could be in an advent calendar prison.
Yes. And I just
trapped within the Sainsbury's advent calendar.
I did 432 stitches on it. And then this week I used it for the other 200 stitches for the twin project. And then you have to do either 200 stitches on 2 projects or 400 stitches on 1 project that has a repeating pattern. And so since this has the repeating squares and the repeating numbers, even though the numbers are different, but they're the same size, the same color, same location. So I've done the first 200 stitches on it, and I did need to finish the next 200. And that is everything on that one. And then the other one, which has to be done by Sunday, because
Has to be.
yes, if you are a member of our Stitchy group on Monday nights and you don't want to be spoiled for as to what I am stitching, you should fast forward or something. I don't think there is a picture of this that I can show you. I think it's just the chart. No, there's not. So this is the Stitchy Noel pattern from Patty of 4 boys and a NL girl. It's like regions in Canada, the N and the L. So I've done the Noel wording. I changed the color because I just was using what colors I have available. So I've done the Noel wording. What else is going to happen is there's a rectangle here that I'm going to put a blue star button on. There is like basting stitches here inside the N. Inside the O, there's little like plus signs kind of, but and then they're going to have a bead in each of them. And then in the E in the top, there's like a Christmas tree, and in the bottom there's a snowflake. And then over here by the L, there is a needle and thread, and then underneath there's a ruler. And then I haven't decided, you can put 2019 here, and up here up top you can put how do you say it in French?
Joyeux Noël.
Joyeux. So I haven't decided if I'm going to put that or if I might put Joyous Noel instead.
Joyeux.
We'll see. And then I'm also going to stitch it for my mom's group Christmas thing, but I won't be putting the ruler or the needle and thread in it. So this one is one that I've got to get done, but I did the entire wording of Noel last night. So it's going to be one that goes quickly, and I am using it for a project with a deadline. I did 200 stitches on that. Just the word Noel was 245 stitches. So I just need to finish up the repeating pattern one, and then that'll be 10 points for this week, because the bonus for this week is a project that the name of it starts with one of the letters in dragon, or it has a dragon on it. And I don't have any thing for that. So I'll end up with 10 points for this week. But I'm doing really well on the Outrageous Headmistress Stitching Challenge. I have earned 6 bonus points because you get 1 point per 2,000 stitches. Because there's 1,084,170 words in the books. So you get 1 point per 2,000 stitches. And then the other thing that I'm working really hard on is I think it's the Extreme Reading Challenge. Hold on, I gotta see what the name of it is. Yes, the Extreme Reading Challenge. And there's 2 options. One of the options has like prompts that you assign books to. The other one has a bazillion and a half words, and you're either the title of the book or the author's first or last name has to start with that letter. But I've earned, I think, 300 house points already on it. So I'm doing really, really good on it. And yeah. So yeah, I'm really, really enjoying my cross stitching, but I am missing knitting because I'm not doing a ton of knitting right now because I'm doing the countdown to Christmas for my Vlogmas, and I'm doing stuff that's on a deadline. So, all right. Well, that is everything for FlossTube, although there is some cross stitch related stuff in the upcoming segment, so you should stick around. Here we go to the next one. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, Yummies. What are Yummies, Tammy?
Yummies are our current favorite things we like, things we want to talk to you about.
Yummies, and we have a lot of them. So are you ready? Okay, so since when we moved to Scotland, we sold pretty much everything we owned. So when we moved back here a couple years ago, we have been like rebuilding things, and that includes Christmas decorations. So the last couple of years, I have bought a Starbucks ornament, and so I wanted to keep the tradition alive, so I bought this Starbucks ornament. It's a ceramic ornament, like one of their little bags, but it's Seattle themed with the Starbucks down there in the corner. So I thought this one was really, really cute and appropriate for living across the water from Seattle. And then I've been participating in a group online for over 20 years. Isn't that crazy? And I host a ornament exchange every year. And so this is the ornament that I received this year. I'm a big Winnie the Pooh fan, so I got this cute Winnie the Pooh with Piglet ornament this year. While you were home for Thanksgiving, you helped me make the pink poinsettia wreath that is on our door, and I'm putting a picture on the screen right now. I used the tutorial that Priscilla and Chelsea from the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch did. They were making a tulip wreath, so we used that tutorial to make the sunflower with autumn leaves wreath, as well as the pink poinsettia wreath that is on the door right now, and I'm really happy with it, and I love it. Okay. So, I went to Acorns and Threads, which is a cross-stitch shop in Portland on the first Thursday of December. I went with my friend Becca, and I bought some things, and I was gifted some things, so let me show you. So, this is my haul. That's what they call it in FlossTube. So, first up, I got a couple of hanks of Classic Colorworks bamboo, which is not a white. It's got a little bit of a more like taupey to it, but it's still white.
Yes.
So, I got that one, and then I got a hank of black coffee, which has, again, some of that just subtle tonal to it. And I got a thing of Whisper, which you can use like for beards and fuzzy things. And I used it on Santa's beard on my countdown to Christmas. And then you just use a brush on it to make it like get all fuzzy and everything. Okay, so this is definitely not going to get stitched this year, but I will stitch it for next Christmas. This is a Jim Shore by Mill Hill kit. It's the Christmas kitty. It's 3 1/4 inches by 4 3/4 inches. So it's a Christmas kitty with a hat and a scarf, and it comes with the perforated paper, the beads, and the floss, and needles as well. So, yeah, I saw this pop up online and I was like, oh my goodness, I need that. So, I don't think I've done any beading and cross stitch before. So it'll be something fun to try. Okay, and then I got, this is Hands On Design, Autumn Skies. So it's the pillow pattern is Autumn Skies Pumpkin Pies. And the other pattern is This Way to the Pumpkin Patch. And it came with some finishing rickrack stuff. And then this one is Kesslin's Pumpkin Candy. And I probably won't do it onto the top of a jar. But look at this adorable pumpkin charm that it came with. I love it. It is so cute. I think I got it more for the pumpkin charm than for anything. Okay. Michelle, who is, she has a floss tube called Michelle Bindi Stitchy. She's also knitting. She's learning to knit, and she got an advent calendar, so she's doing a towel right now using those minis. But she also designs patterns. And so she designed this, a very Hildy Yule. And honestly, if I had not heard her tell the story of it, I don't know that I would get given it a second look. But it's just so adorable. So here's Hildy, and it's Christmas time. This is her boyfriend, Brian, who's a vampire. This is Eek and Squeak, the bats. This is Wade the spider, and I'm not sure what the cat's name is. But they're having Christmas time, and look at this gorgeous border using a variegated floss. And I just thought it was so cute. So I would like to do this for next Christmas, because I think it's adorable. And it uses all DMC except for one Threadworks, which is what does the variegated around the edge. And then we were gifted several things while we were there. So Beth Twist, who does Heartstring Samplery, was there, and she brought some postcards she had made up, and she passed them around and let us pick from them. This is Soon to Be. And this one is the Stitching Life. And I got it primarily for that little kitty down there at the bottom. Isn't it cute? So there's that. Melissa from the stitching group I go to on Monday nights made these little bags for everybody that had a skein of the DMC Etoile, which I haven't tried yet. And my favorite little mini snip scissors in it. I found it. It was missing, but I found it. I can't remember everybody's name, and I'm so sorry. But one of the ladies passed around these 2019 charms. So I think I will use this on the one that I'm stitching for Stitching Group. And maybe I can put it either above or below the star button that I have. Because I've got really pretty star buttons and blue beads to use on it. Stephanie made these Thanksgiving needle minders, and then she was sick and wasn't able to be there, and so she brought them this time for December. And so it's a little I don't know if it's a boy or a girl,
Neither.
riding a pumpkin that is being pulled by a turkey. And then another lady, this was so cute the way she did it. She had a baking tray, like a cookie sheet, and she had just magnetized all of these needle minders to it, and then she passed it around and let us each pick one. So I picked this cute little kitty who has a pink circle around its eye because our kitty's name is Pink Pearl. And then Wendy, who is Bags by Wendy, made these project bags for everyone. They each had a different snowman scene on them. And it's got a fun little snowflake bauble. And then it's got just a nice subtle pattern fabric in the back. And I think I'm going to put my Noel ornaments in this because it's the right size. The final thing I was gifted was this snippety from Caddy Cross Stitches, who is Marion. She's Marion the librarian on Places. But I'll put a link in the show notes. But notice that Caddy Cross Stitches, there's only, so cross is CROSS, but then there's not an S for stitches at the beginning. So there's only 2 S's there. So underneath her label here, there's a magnet so that she can magnetize your needles or your scissors to it while you're working. And then this fabric here, you can lay a piece of floss on it and it won't slide off, or you could do your little ends as you trim them off and make a pile of them on there and then throw them all away. And this is what's on the back. This buffalo check camper and cars and trucks with the trees and the holly. And I've already been in touch with her, and I've ordered 3 more because I want to put 1 in each of my project bags. So, yeah, so that was really a lot of fun. I had a really great time, and I am so looking forward to going back again soon to First Thursday, hopefully in January. Okay, the next thing I purchased was from Pearl Girl Buttons on Etsy. I didn't take these out of the package, but
Mama.
I'm not going to take them out of the package right now either. I'm just going to show you. She had these Notions pouches on sale, and I wanted to put a Notions pouch in each of my cross-stitch projects. So I ordered these 3. So the first up is this Calico Kitten fabric, and these buttons that she has on here, they're interchangeable. So they have these kind of snap things on the back. So she also sent me a pumpkin spice and everything nice, which is upside down. And there's always something to be thankful for. So I got the Calico Kittens, I got Minnie Mouse, because it was pink, and I got Candy Corn, and look at that button, it's a black cat with a witchy hat. And I am going to use this year round. So those are from Pearl Girl Buttons on Etsy. Okay, so I did a booth for a friend of a friend, Kim, who her business is called Northwest Sparks, and she makes soy candles. And so I was at I think it was Christmas in the Country is what it was called, on Bainbridge Island. And they had several different locations, and there was a group of vendors at each location. And so one of the vendors at the location I was at, her name is Delia Hubbard. She is the art lady. I've linked her in the show notes. Yeah, it's only one L. It's Delia. And so I bought this print from her. I thought it was very, very pretty. It reminded me of my tattoo, my birdie tattoo. So I'm excited to put that up. And then the other thing I bought was a couple of ceramic ornaments from Elena Wendelin. So I bought this kitty cat. And I bought the sheep. So I need to put things on them so we can hang them up. Mm-hmm. So
I might put pieces of thread on them rather than hooks.
No, I'm not going to put hooks. I was thinking either...
Yeah, the twine.
Oh, yeah, I could do the twine, or I think I might have some skinny ribbon.
I feel like the twine would be stronger.
Okay.
And it would fit the aesthetic.
That's true.
Ceramic ornament.
That's true. You're right. Okay. And then, where is it? There's so much stuff over here, y'all. Yeah. I told y'all I had a lot to talk about today because we haven't done this in 3 weeks. The lovely Trish from Threads Entwined. So she has a actual brick and mortar shop in California that I really want to go to, as well as an online shop. And she sells both cross stitch stuff as well as yarn. And so she's actually the one that we got the idea for the Random Acts of Kindness from. So she's doing Random Acts of Kindness, and so I was entering and I won. And so now since I won, I'm still entering, but I'm saying, I would like you to send a skein of yarn to someone, or I'd like you to send a pattern to someone or whatever. Just trying to spread the love a little bit. So the yarn that I got, this is, and I'd never heard of this one before, but it's Rock and String Creations. This is their Jitterbug Fingering, which is, yep, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 400 yards, 100 grams in the Meow self-striping colorway. And this is going to be socks for me. And I cannot wait. And then she was so sweet. She sent me, this is from Dinky Dyes, and it's hand-dyed silk. And the colorway is Hardenbergia. Is that how you would say that?
Hardenbergia.
And it's just this lovely kind of pinky purple color. So I've never stitched with silk before, so I'm excited to try that. Thank you so much, Trish, for your lovely, lovely giveaway. And then if you've been watching my Vlogmases, you saw that I went out this week on Wednesday to the Soundview Fiber Mill, which is run by Shar, and I'm actually going to be working with her in the new year, helping her out with some of her administrative and social media and such like that. But she gave me a whole tour of the mill, so if you haven't watched that, it would have been in yesterday's Vlogmas, so Thursday the 12th, because I recorded it on the 11th. And so she gifted me this yarn that had been processed and spun at her mill, and then that she dyed. And it's just this beautiful, beautiful variegated. It's probably a heavy fingering. What do you think?
Yeah.
Probably a heavy fingering. I think she told me the yardage, and I can't remember. I'll send her a message and ask her. But she gifted me this yarn, so that was very, very kind of her. And then that's where I fell. And it was totally not her fault at all. It was raining. It had been raining, and it was muddy and everything. And I was coming down the stairs from her porch to go back out into the
wilderness.
No, it's not a garage or a shed. It's like a big
port. The car port.
No, where her mill is.
Oh.
It's like it's not a huge warehouse, but it's a smaller, like, kind of warehouse kind of place. I don't know what to call it. It's bigger than a shed, smaller than a warehouse. Anyway, but I was coming down the steps, and I thought that the final step was level with the ground, and it wasn't. And I fell, and I could feel myself falling, and I was like, there was nothing I could do, and I landed really hard on my right knee and caught myself with my hand, and my shoulder was unhappy. And she felt so bad, and I was like, it was not your fault. It was totally my fault. I misstepped, and I'm okay. I just, like, I've got a few cuts on my right knee, and it's scratched up and it's swollen up some. So I've been trying to stay off it. Today was the first day I got out for just a little bit to go get Dammy from the ferry. But yeah. Got all of that. But anyway, when I finished at the mill, on the way back through to come back to Bremerton, I stopped at the Allen Knit Shop because I had a skein of yarn left over from my Nanny Sono sweater that I didn't end up using, and I had left it in the skein. I hadn't wound it or anything, so that they let me exchange it for store credit. So I got this skein of it's hand dyed by Lois from Allen Knit Shop. This is her Kalispell base. It's 90% superwash Tarhi, 10% nylon, 4 ounces, 465 yards in the Pretty Bird colorway. And the reason I chose this one is because I told Dammy and the Dr. Hubs that they were not going to get Christmas socks because I've just run out of time, but they're going to get Valentine's Day socks. And red is the Dr. Hubs' favorite color, so I'm going to stitch his socks out of this, and I'll find yarn to stitch you socks as well. But I have a little bit of time for that. Oh my gosh, Dammy. That was a lot of stuff, y'all. I told you that's what happens when we don't record for 3 weeks. Okay, do you have anything you want to add? Did you have any yummies? You're done with finals? That's a yummy.
I went to see the screening of the staged concert of Les Mis with the previous UK cast.
So was it a concert or was it like the actual production?
Staged concert.
Okay. So were they in costume?
Yes.
But they just were singing?
Yes.
They weren't doing like any of the actions.
No.
Okay. I didn't realize that. So what did you think of it?
I cried.
Yeah? Was there a lot of people?
There was like 20 or so.
Oh. Okay. Well, that's cool. Have you seen any other shows since we saw you last?
No.
You were too busy with school.
Uh-huh.
So. Are your thread getting tangled?
Yeah, it came... No, it didn't come apart. It's being... Did it come apart?
It might have. Sometimes that happens. All right, well then let's talk about hashtag #GGKCraftyPad. What is it, Dammy?
It stands for Geeky Girls Knit Crafty Photo a Day Challenge. We have a list of photo prompts for each month, so you take a look at the prompt for that day, take a picture related to it, and post it anywhere you like. But we pick our favorites from Instagram.
That's right, and our theme for this month is obviously Christmas, the holidays, etc. So what are we about to show them?
2 photos from us that we liked and 5 photos from other people that we liked.
Here come the photos. Those are our favorite photos. Great job, everybody. It's never too late to join in. You take a look at the prompt for the day. What is today's prompt?
Couldn't tell you.
Hold on. Let me consult my computer over here. It's light. I should take a picture of my luminarias that I turned on. She's so silly. She keeps stealing my seat. Thief. Okay, you look at the prompt for the day. Today is light, the day we're recording this. You interpret it however you want. We are so cheater friendly on this. And it does not have to be crafting related. It can be anything. So you take your picture, you post it on Instagram, make sure in your caption you use hashtag #GGKCraftyPad because that's how we find your photo. And yours might get chosen. If you're participating and you have a private account on Instagram, you need to make sure that Dammy's Doodles is following you because otherwise we can't see your photos. So.
And also, can I just reiterate the statement from last time that you can tag me in giveaways if you think the thing is something I'd be interested in, but like, please don't make me like your main person just to tag. I get excited. I see, oh, someone mentioned me in a comment, but it's just another giveaway for some yarn. And I'm like, I already have too much yarn. So, unless it's like Jane Austen yarn.
What about Hadestown yarn?
Maybe.
What about any theater-related yarn?
Maybe.
But I'm allowed to tag you as much as I want, right? I'm joking. I usually tag you if it's something that I really want to win, and I know that you'll probably give it to me if you win. Mm-hmm. So, there was like a flash on our screen. I don't know what happened. Did I tell you the power went out yesterday?
Yes.
It was so weird because this light started flickering, and I was like,
Guess we're haunted.
I was like thinking, okay, maybe the bulb's going out, and then I realized, hey, it's dark in here. Power had gone out. It turned back on like within 30 seconds. We don't have any upcoming events.
Oh dear.
That's okay. We are going to enjoy family time. We will do our annual tradition of going to see a movie at the cinema. What are we going to see, Dammy?
Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
Yes, I think we're going to see it on was it the 27th?
Yeah.
So just because of schedules, that's when it worked out best. And then we also, our tradition is to go out to dinner. So we'll do that after the movie. because we just really appreciate the gift of presents and doing things together as a family. So we're really excited to have some time with Dammy being home and everything. So, all right. Well, I think that is everything for Yummies. That was a heck of a lot. So we should probably move on to the next segment.
Now we're going to talk about what we are reading, watching, and listening to.
So what are you reading, Dammy?
I finished reading Lonely Planet by Stephen Dietz, Indecent by Paula Vogel, and Medea by Euripides. Oops.
I didn't mark that one.
I forgot.
Well, I already dealt with these two because I did show notes before you came home. So I will mark that one and I'll do it when I let it.
So I'll find something else to read, but in the meantime, I'm also reading The Glass Scientist, which is a webcomic by Sabrina Cartoon Girl.
Are you going to go back to reading Les Mis?
I don't know.
Because you set it aside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I assume with all of that reading, you were getting your 15 minutes a day in?
Yeah.
What am I referring to?
That's a weird way to lay a cat. October, November, December, RAL, read along.
Yes, so this is a challenge for you to read 15 minutes a day, every day. The Dr. Hubs is texting. I don't care what you're reading. I just want you to read. And audiobooks do count. We're finishing out this season for the October, November, December. And you earn entries into the year-long challenge by participating in the seasonal ones. A reminder, or an FYI, I have put up a thread in our Ravelry group for the Modern Miss Darcy Challenge, which will earn you, if you do all 12 of them, you get 6 bonus entries into the year-long giveaway. So you need to make sure you go and post your the books that you read for the different prompts before December 31st, because I will lock the threads on the morning of January 1st so that we can draw for prize winners. Mm-hmm. And we've got 3 grand prizes that are going to be awarded with using a random number generator from all of the entries into the year long. And if you go to our show notes,
geekygirlsknit.com,
you can see pictures as well as details of all the grand prizes. Okay, what I'm reading. Nonfiction-wise, I'm reading Burnout, The Secret to Unlocking the Stress Cycle by Emily Nagoski and Amelia Nagoski. They're twin sisters. And I only have, I think, 1 chapter left, but it's really interesting because it's written by women for women, and it's talking about, like, the stress in our lives. It's talking about, like, our sleep cycle. It's talking about what happens when we don't let when we growl like Dammy, when we don't finish out that cycle of being stressed and end up it just being built up in your system, and it can cause health problems and such. So it's a really interesting read. I'm enjoying reading it. Sound the trumpets, shoot off the fireworks. I finished rereading Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, 4th book in the series by J.K. Rowling. I was rereading it with Harry Potter and the Sacred Text podcast and Swish and Flick and All Potter podcast. So we did the last chapter, and now, so Swish and Flick had an episode that was like a book to movie comparison. And then they also they went to LeakyCon, and so they went to Salem. And so they just did a podcast about their time in Salem and the different historical things they went and saw and such.
Witchy.
And then Sacred Text had like a closing out of the book, and then they had, so because they have like where you can call in and leave voicemails about the episodes. And so yeah, and then they choose one and they play it.
I'm just like, who leaves voicemails anymore?
Well, it's because that's the best way for somebody to okay. Anyway, but they did a special episode where I think they featured like 5 or 6 different voicemails. And then I think I have one more episode that I need to listen to from Sacred Text before we start the 5th book. What's the 5th book?
Order of the Phoenix.
Yes. But Switch and Flick has said that they probably won't start it until the first podcast of the new year. So I have a little break with that. I finished reading What Alice Forgot by Leanne Moriarty. It was really good. I have been listening to the audiobooks of the J.P. Beaumont series by J.A. Jance. I finished books 1 through 3, and I'm listening to book 4 right now. It's really kind of funny because it's set in Seattle, but it is like, I don't know what year it is, but it was like before cell phones. It was before like answering machines became really popular. I don't know. But anyway, he talks about, he lives like in downtown Seattle, so he keeps mentioning things and I'm like, oh, I know where that is. And the one I'm listening to right now, actually the murder happened in the Fifth Avenue Theater, which Dammy and I have been in. And he actually was talking about like how it was supposed to be like demolished and then like the community came together and restored it and everything. So that he was talking about that in it. So yeah. Okay, and then I read Before She Knew Him by Peter Swanson. Some of these books I read like 3 weeks ago, and I can't honestly remember all the details of them. I read The Fairy Tale Detectives by Michael Buckley. It was, actually I listened to that one. I read The Mother-in-Law by Sally Hepworth. That one was interesting. It was because it was like back and forth from present day to past and everything, and I totally didn't see what happened coming. So it was a good kind of well, not even a mystery, just more of a psychological thriller type book. I am reading the In Death series by J.D. Robb. I finished books 32 and 33, and I'm reading book 34, which is about, so they had this case, I don't remember how many books back, that ended up, a book was written about the case, and then now it's being made into a movie, but there's been a murder of one of the cast members. And so now Dallas is investigating, trying to figure out who the murderer was, because it was at a party for the movie. Yeah. I read Dark Sacred Night, which is the second book in the Renee Ballard series by Michael Connolly. And I read Girls of Storm and Shadow, which is the second book in the Girls of Paper and Fire series by Natasha. How would you say that right there? Nagan? Jan. It was really, really good. It took me a second to get into it because it had been so long since I'd read book 1. But once I got about chapter or 2 in, I was like, okay, I totally remember. And so it was really well done. I enjoyed it. Okay, TV. Let's get through this really quick. I rewatched Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire after I finished rereading the book. And then I've watched a heck of a lot of Christmas Hallmark movies. Right before Christmas, Holiday Hearts, Christmas at Graceland, Home for the Holidays, Our Christmas Love Song, Cherished Memories, A Gift to Remember Too, A Christmas Duet, Check Into Christmas, The Christmas Club, Christmas at the Plaza, Christmas at Evergreen, Tidings of Joy, Christmas in Rome, and Sense, Sensibility, and Snowmen. I really liked Sense, Sensibility, and Snowmen. It was cute. And then I think I have like 5 that I still need to watch before the next ones come on this weekend. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Season 3 is here. I binged like 5 episodes yesterday, I think.
Goodness.
And I'd already watched the first episode earlier in the week. I think I have 2 episodes left, but they also announced yesterday that it's been renewed for Season 4. So I'm really excited about that. The Dr. Hubbs and I watched a little bit of Father Brown Series 7. We are watching The Mandalorian Season 1. Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
Stumptown Season 1, Supernatural Season 15, Blacklist Season 7, NCIS LA Season 11. I feel, just because of some of the things they're saying, I feel like there's going to be at least one main character leave the show before the season is over. And I feel like it's probably going to be Hetty.
No.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see. And then there's the whole Crisis on Infinite Earths that's happening. So I watched Supergirl, Batwoman, and The Flash of that. And I also had watched some previous episodes of Supergirl and The Flash and Arrow before Crisis started.
When is there not a crisis?
I know. Spoiler alert. Oliver was killed.
Oh, rip.
But he's back.
Oh.
They erased him.
Not rip.
Yeah. Prodigal Son Season 1, Murdoch Mystery Season 13, NCIS Season 17, NCIS New Orleans Season 6. And I already said Flash and Arrow. I'm listening to my favorite murder podcast, I'm listening to audiobooks, and I'm listening to the Cece and Dammy Love Christmas Spotify playlist, which I've linked up in the show notes. What are you listening to, Dammy?
Random Spotify playlists.
And?
Cabin Pressure, sure.
As always. She's always listening to Cabin Pressure. She hits the random button, and it comes on. Shuffle. Random. Whatever. Okay. Wow, we made that through that quick. Because I was like, I'm not going to talk in detail about these because this episode's going to be freaking long already. So, let's move on to the next segment.
Now we're going to talk about the December, January, February Winter Wonderland.
Just let me sing. Walking in a winter wonderland.
Ow.
You're supposed to say do. Ow.
Do.
Ow.
Thank you.
Okay.
So this started on the 1st of December and it runs through the 29th of February. And it's for any project that you can knit, crochet, weave, spin, stitch, or sew that you can convince is related to winter. If you can't think of anything, you made it in winter.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple main rules. The first is that no whips are allowed, so your project can't have been begun before the 1st of December and can't be finished any later than the 29th of February.
Yep.
Other main rule is that each project that you knit, crochet, weave, or spin must be at least 20 yards. If your project is not at least 20 yards, you should combine it in a single post with other projects that together total at least 20 yards. For ruling on stitching and sewing projects, we leave it up to your best judgment. But if you want something official, you can PM Java Pearl on Ravelry or email us at geekygirlsknit@gmail.com.
Yep.
You can feel free to poly dip in other longs as long as it fits in with other rules. That's totally fine. We have lots of lovely prizes on our screen. Thank you so much to our donors. If you are interested in donating a prize, you can PM Java Pearl on Ravelry or email us again at geekygirlsknit@gmail.com. And if you'd like to see where these prizes came from, you can go to our show notes, geekygirlsknit.com. You must be a member of the Geeky Girls Knit podcast group on Ravelry in order to participate. There is a hashtag if you'd like to tag your projects, GGKWinter1920. The FO thread will be locked on the morning of the 1st of March, and winners will be drawn for the next podcast after that. And any winners will have 30 days to claim their prize or they forfeit it. There's a chatter thread on Ravelry where you can discuss your progress and what you're going to make next. That's where I congratulate people who finish, but I also do that here. So, we have A. Bingham, Angelic Embers, DJ ID, Falling Star 12, Philippa MC, I Knit Socks 2, Jodidiah, Knit Live Love, Lil Angel SG2, Meditative Crafter, Randy B82, Sam Ash Williams 94, Shirley Knits 123, Silver Luna 2112, The Fibersmith, VT Kimmy Kim, and Yellcat 2.
Great job, everybody. Keep working on those projects. You've got like 2.5 months to go, so plenty of time to get them done. Unless you're doing them for Christmas presents, and then you're running out of time. Yep. So, hurry up. All right, let's move on to the next segment.
And now it's time for Ask the Geeky Girls, the part of our show where you ask us things and we try to answer them.
That's right. What's this week's question, Naomi?
This week's question is from Amy, who's A. Bingham from Oregon. Hi, I'm just starting to get back out into the dating world. Cece, how did you and the Dr. Hubs meet? You answer that first, and then then you ask me the second.
Okay. Well, the Dr. Hubs and I met in college, so...
What was his GPA?
It was not as good as it was after we got together because I made him do his schoolwork. So we went to a small private Christian college in the panhandle of Texas. I think every university has some take on that.
Ring by spring.
Ring by spring. Does
That's SP Rain by Spring.
Oh, because ours was Wayland Baptist University was the name of the university, and it was Wedding Bells University Ring by Spring, or you get a refund.
Hate that.
Yeah. So the Dr. Hubbs had gone to community college for 2 years, and then he came to WBU in 1994. And then I graduated high school in 95, and I came in the fall of 95. And he and I had met, and we were friends, and yeah, but we didn't start dating until December of 96. And we got married in September of 97. So he graduated in May of 98. And then I went part-time, and I did finish my degree in December of 2001. Dammy was 2 years old at that point.
I interrupted.
Well, no, the very first year we got married, I had gone down to going to school part-time because I was having some health issues. And I just never ended up going back full-time because I was working, because Dr. Hubbs was in grad school. And so, yeah, that's how we met. We were both getting our degrees in the School of Religion. And so we were in classes together and all of that. Yeah, that's where we met and how we started dating.
You have theological debates together.
No. But I did make him get his schoolwork done in a timely manner and study, and his GPA went up. So, just saying.
Did you guys use Blackboard then? Was that a thing?
No. No, email was just barely a thing when I went to college. It was a big deal if you got an email. Do you remember those days, anybody? Where it was a huge deal if you got an email. And now it's like, it's a huge deal if you get snail mail. Because, yeah, things have flipped. So, yeah, no. We started dating in December of 96. And then we had like 6 weeks off for Christmas break. And he lived about 4.5 hours east of where we were in school, and I lived 4 hours west of where we were in school, and neither one of us had internet at home, so we wrote handwritten letters and talked on the phone like twice a week for those 6 weeks.
Ew.
I know. I know, but then, that's just how it was. So you just have to go with it. And now we've been married for 22 years and have a child who is 20 and 2 months. And a kitty who is 3.5.
Grumpy old kitty.
And that is
I
us.
think is actually in her late 20s.
Yes, I know. I have that little thing somewhere on my phone. Okay, so I hope that answered your question, Amy. So, Dammy, Amy's question for you is, have you started dating yet?
No.
Okay, are you going to expound on that at all, or is that your answer?
I don't have time.
Okay.
Maybe later I'll have time, but I've been averaging 18 to 21 or 22 credits a quarter, which the maximum is supposed to be
20?
18.
Oh, supposed to be 18?
But you can get special permission to get 20, but then you have to get special permission to get over 20. But I have 19 next quarter, and I'm working as close to 20 hours a week as I can.
And you're doing theater stuff.
I'm doing theater stuff, and I'm losing spoons.
I know, I don't have any to loan you.
Pink, do you have spoons?
I have claws.
No. So, yeah.
Did I tell you about her clawing me the other day?
She called you?
No, she clawed me.
Oh, I thought you said her calling me the other day. I was like,
no,
she did what?
She didn't mean to claw me. She was on the couch with me, and she turned around, and I don't know, she lost her balance and was falling off, and so she clawed into my leg to try to pull herself back up. And I was like, ouch! And so I had to, pick her up and move her to make her let go of my leg.
So, yeah.
Pinky, have you been dating?
She's like,
have you been dating?
no, I am Spade. Stay and neuter your pets.
That's right. Okay, so Amy, I hope that answered your questions. Thanks for asking them. Dammy, if somebody has a question for us, what should they do?
Go to our Ask the Geeky Girls thread in our Ravelry group and post it.
Yeah, I think we have at least 2 or 3 more weeks worth of questions, but yeah, if you have questions, go ahead and post them because we're going to get low on questions again. So, yeah. All right, well, let's move on to the next segment.
And now we have a review.
Yes. So we have Pom Pom Quarterly. This is issue number 31, winter 2019.
Terrain.
Yes. The theme is terrain. So, as always, we purchased this copy to talk about. And we do so just because we really love Pom Pom Quarterly a lot. So, the editor's letter is talking about what's happened in 2019 in the fiber community, and as well as about the theme. I really appreciated that they talked about the history of the state park where they took the photos, but especially talked about the indigenous history, and they're donating a percentage of this issue's sales to the Society of Native Nations, an organization dedicated to advocating for indigenous people and the land in Texas, protecting and preserving indigenous culture and traditions to create positive change for people and the earth. So I thought that was really, really cool. Okay, here we go. We've got Waterlands, which is a pattern by
Lotta H. Lothgun.
So this takes the structure of tiny islands strewn closely across the water in an archipelago as its jumping off point. I love that it has 3/4 length sleeves. And once you get through the color work, it would be just kind of basic stockinette knitting. Let's see, there's some more pictures here. Okay, so let me tell you about it. This comes in 8 sizes from 34 3/4 to 62.5 inches with a 2 to 4 inch positive ease. As always, I so appreciate that they give you information about the model, the bust size, how tall they are, and what size they're wearing so that it can kind of help you as you're making decisions. This is knit in a DK weight yarn using US 3 3.25 mil and US 5 3.75 mil needles, worked in the round from the top down in one piece. The increases are incorporated into the pattern of the seamless yoke, and the length of the sleeves and body can be easily adjusted by knitting more or fewer rounds of stockinette stitch. This is just really pretty color work. Their charts are amazing as always. Next up, what's the name of this one, Debbie?
Alato.
By
Einar Berkenbayeva.
Yes. I'm glad you're here to help me with the names. So this is the designer's meditation on memories of the mountain range in Central Asia and her home of Kazakhstan. It's meant to invoke nestled ridges and valleys using stitch definition and twisted stitches. So this is this beautiful hat. Really, really lovely hat. It's done in 3 sizes. Using a DK weight yarn on US 6's 4 mil needles. It's worked in the round from the top down. And 2 brim options are given. My only thing that I would change or suggest a difference on this is if they had done it in kind of maybe a lighter color of yarn, because I don't feel like we get to see all the stitch definition being in a dark colored yarn. So that would be my only thing, just because it would make it the stitch definition more visible. This is A Field by Fiona Alice. It explores similarities between knitting and agriculture, like the rows and furrows, hatch stitch patches adorning the cardigan to echo the rows of crops. And again, this one focuses on textured stitches, slip stitches, faux cables, and a small cable hidden under the arm. So here we go. Ooh, look at that stitch definition. See, that's what I mean. Like, this is done in a lighter color yarn, so you're really getting the stitch definition that you're not seeing as well in the hat. So this is done in 8 sizes from 36 to 64 inch bust, worn with 4 to 7 inches of positive ease. It's a worsted weight sweater done on US 7s 4.5 mil and US 8s 5 mil needles. It's worked flat from the bottom up. The front and the back are worked each as one piece to the armholes. It's got short row shaping for the shoulders. Cuffs are finished in a 1x1 rib after the sleeves are picked up around the armhole opening. And it says to make sure and read the pattern the whole way through, like you should do with every pattern, because there's a succession of patterned sections at the same time as shaping and separating the body pieces. So, it's very important. Next up, we have the Mafati by Noma. It says it disperses a fun technique among rows of familiar stitches for relaxed making. There's 3 brioche cables that are going through wide garter stitch fields, meant to look like mountain ranges rising up from the plains. It was named Noma after the highest mountain peak in South Africa, which is where she lives. How gorgeous is that? That is yummy. Yummy, squishy. Okay, so this is done in 1 size, 62 inches long by 16 inches wide, done with a fingering weight yarn. This one is done with a yarn that has a little bit of linen in it, mostly superwash merino. It's done on US 5 3.75 mil needles, and it's knit flat from the bottom once. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love that it's all, it's mostly garter stitch, but then you're getting that really beautiful definition using the brioche in the cables.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. Next up, we have a crochet pattern called Acre by Judith Brand. It was inspired by the feeling of returning home after a long time away. So it's got 3 colored sections to echo the aerial vision of the division of fertile land in agricultural fields. And it's worked sideways in a brioche-like ribbed texture.
Brioche-like?
Yeah, because it's crochet. It's very, very pretty.
I'm doing back stitching.
Yay, you. This is done in 8 sizes from 37 to 64 inch bust, worn with 4 to 12 inches positive ease. It's done in a fingering 4-ply yarn using a 3mm crochet hook. There's no US equivalent for that size crochet hook, so if you're unable to find the required size, try either a USC/2, which is a 2.75 mil, or a USD/3 3.25 mil hook, depending on your gauge. It's crocheted flat in rows in 4 pieces, the front, the back, and the sleeves. And the front and back are worked sideways and then crocheted together. Sleeves are also worked sideways before being folded in half lengthwise. And then the neckband, hem, and cuffs are added by crocheting seamlessly in continuous spiral rounds.
Yeah.
And it's got a really good stitch glossary with picture even for part of it, for the different stitches that are used, because I guess it's not your typical crochet pattern, but it's very, very beautiful. Then we have the Hypsometry hat by Claire Walls. So this one is inspired by cartography. So the designer took the like concentric line work and made it using the alternating yarn colors and slipping stitches. Hypsometry is the art and science of recording terrain elevations, whether by hatchers, contour lines, tinting, shading, or other techniques. I hope I'm showing that. I can't really see what I'm doing. There we go. So, okay, let me show you there. Here's this picture of it. Okay, so this is done in 3 sizes using a sport weight yarn, US 4 3.5 mil needles. It's worked in the round from the bottom up with 3 brim options to choose from. And there's a tutorial for the joined brim option. I think I really like the definition that the slip stitches give.
Yes.
Because it kind of defines each section. So there's a single brim option, a double folded brim, or a double joined brim option that you can use. And of course, top it with a pom-pom, because pom-poms rock. I love that pom-pom color really pops on there, instead of using like the gray of the main color. Yes, very, very pretty. Okay, Nami, how do I say this one?
Arete by Geraldine Yang.
So, the designer scrutinized every aspect with the precision of a couture. It's got edgy balloon sleeves, intarsia panels, and the intarsia segments remind us of aretes, the narrow, pointed ridges between valleys, gouged by glaciers and then sharpened by weather exposure into a distinctive line.
Yeah. What did I do? How could I do that?
Dammy's having issues today with her cross stitch.
I just want to do some back stitches.
I love the definitions with the different colors there. Okay, this is done in 9 sizes, from a 34.5 inch to a 66 inch bust, with 4 to 6 inches of positive ease.
Wow.
It's a worsted weight pattern on US 7's 4.5 mil and US 8's 5 mil needles. It's worked from the top down in the round with raglan sleeves. The back of the neck is shaped using a shadow wrap short row technique. We know all about shadow wraps, don't we?
I don't know that.
That's what we do with our sock heels, is a shadow wrap short row. Intarsia portion of the sweater is knitted in the round, knitting back and forth, creating a seamless join.
Nice.
And they say to make sure and familiarize yourself with this technique in the stitch glossary before beginning.
Yeah.
The charts are only shown for 2 of the sizes, but using the digital download code in the magazine, you can get all of the charts. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they've got a really good stitch glossary, as well as YouTube tutorials on some of them. It's very pretty. I really like the sleeves. Yeah, they're rather large charts. That's why they didn't print all of them. Okay, next up we have the Tellervo by Sari Nordlund. It celebrates the challenges and rewards of the bumpy, the rough, and the unexpected in life and the land. It uses cable twists irregularly to form unexpected patterns and shapes in the fabric. It's got kind of a swirling cable surface. It's very, very pretty. Okay, so this is in 9 sizes, from 36.5 inch to 66.5 inch, bust with 6 to 10 inches of positive ease, and that's meant to be buttoned for that circumference. It's done in a worsted weight yarn on US 6's 4 mil, US 7's 4.5 mil, and US 8's 5 mil needles.
That's a lot.
Yep,
Needles.
it is. It's
So
knitted.
you gotta make sure you get gauge on all of them.
No, gauge is only on the US 8's. And it's over the cable pattern worked flat.
Little roses.
Oh, cute. It's knitted seamlessly from the bottom up. The body and the sleeves are worked separately and then joined at the underarm before the yoke is worked with raglan shaping. The sleeves begin with a slim-fitting long cuff and then become oversized. Button band is picked up from the front edge of the body and folded double for a neatly finished look. They suggest that you use a rustic woolly yarn because softer and smoother yarns might drape differently and change the look of the sleeves.
Yeah.
So, it's really
cozy.
It's really pretty.
See how cozy I have a sweater's worth of yarn I need to use.
Do you have a pattern?
Yes. I have the buttons too.
What pattern are you going to use?
It's the Justine Lorkowska one that's like first in my queue or something.
The coffee's wearing off, y'all. These are the Terraform socks by Christelle
Bagia.
They talk about the challenge of representing the 3-dimensional earth forms on a 2-dimensional surface. There's chevron motifs to replicate the shape of reliefs and land masses as they're often represented on topographical maps.
Maps, baby.
All right, so here they are. All right, these come in 3 sizes, fingering weight 4-ply yarn, on US 1.5's 2.5 mil needles. They're cuffed down, and the heels are afterthought heels. And so you use 3 colors of yarn, and you're like, you're not cutting the yarn until it tells you to. So you're going back and forth between 2 colors, and then it changes and does another of 2 of the colors, etc., etc. It's a really cool technique to have the 3 different colors plus the design elements in it. This is the Saltings pullover by Sarah Solomon. So this sweater honors the hardy women who worked on British shores to gut the day's catch of fishes. The so-called gutters traditionally wore intricate ganseys of dark, oily, hard-wearing wool that insulated them against bitter cold and damp, with elbow-length sleeves to facilitate their work. And it is knit using a sock yarn held with a lace-weight mohair. Or if you want to forego the halo that you would get from doing that, you could do a single strand of DK. All right. How beautiful is that?
I have more patterns than usual in this.
I don't think so. This is the last one. Okay, this is done in 8 sizes from 37 to 62 inch bust, with 2 to 7 inches of positive ease. Again, it's a fingering and a lace weight held together. On US 3's 3.25 and US 4's 3.5 mil needles. It's worked flat in pieces from the bottom up. The armholes and sleeves are a modified drop shoulder construction. It calls for a slipped chain selvage for ease of seaming. Oh, and it walks you through a technique of casting off over cable patterns. That's interesting. I'll have to read that. It's a very beautiful sweater. Okay, and then the rest of the stuff in the book, in this issue, there's an essay called About a Pink Sweater by Sophia Kai, and the illustration is by Maggie Chiang, and it's talking about what has happened in the fiber community this year, especially around white privilege and the experience of Black, Indigenous, and people of color. And she talks about this sweater that was made by a group of people, and she wore it to present a lecture and just her experience. I didn't realize this, Dammy. Apparently, BAME for Black, Asian, and Minority Ethnic is a similarly used term in the UK. Okay, and then there is a tutorial for a window earthscape drapery. Very, very pretty. By, how do you say that, Demi?
Where?
The name.
Yukako Satone and Hannah Katz.
Of Loop of the Loom. And it walks you through how to do that. And then, of course, we've already talked about the patterns. And then the recipe for this issue is a Cherry Almond Rocky Road by Kat Golden. Doesn't that look yummy? And then information about the designers and writers and the yarn used in this issue. So, Dammy, what is your favorite pattern?
The wrap one.
Yeah, that one?
Yeah.
The Mafadi. I really like the cover sweater, which was the last one that we talked about, the Saltings. But I really need to take a finishing class if I were to knit that. I really like the wrap you mentioned too, as well as I thought the techniques from the Terraform socks were really intriguing, as well as the broken cables in the Talervo.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are your thoughts on the issue? Yes. As always, we really love Pom Pom Quarterly. I would say this is not my favorite issue, but there was a lot of really interesting things in it, and there's not yet been an issue of Pom Pom that I have not been interested and intrigued by, and so we highly recommend that you pick up a copy of Pom Pom Quarterly. I know our local Barnes & Noble carries it, but you can get a subscription on their website, as well as it's available digitally on Ravelry. But if you do that, you don't get to smell the really nice paper that they use, which we just love. All right, let's move on to the next segment. Dammy, we made it to the end of this very long episode.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like we've been recording for 12 years. We haven't been, but it feels like it. Okay, we have some announcements. First up, let's tell you the podcast schedule for the rest of the year and into the new year. So, episode 375 is going to release on Friday, the 20th of December. That's my sister's birthday. Episode 376 is going to release on Friday, the 27th of December. And episode 377 is going to release on Thursday, the 2nd of January. And episodes during Dammy's Winter University Quarter will be releasing on... not Thursdays. We'll be recording on Thursdays. They will release on Fridays. I need to fix that. I'm glad I said it out loud. And then we'll have to look when you register for your spring quarter to figure out. So, because we're kind of at the mercy of your schedule, which is fine. And everybody understands. We want to remind you about 31 Days of Christmas and Random Acts of Kindness. So we are doing daily random act of kindness on my Instagram account, cc_almond. You post on that, on each day's post with your Ravelry username and what pattern from our bundle that is on sale that week that you would like to win. And then I close it the next morning and randomly draw for a winner. And I gift them that pattern. Coming up at the last 3 days of the month, you'll be entering to win ebooks. So what we'll do is we'll draw a person from each of the last 3 days of the month. And after we've done that, we will draw from those 3 people, and the winner will get all 10 of our ebooks, and the other 2 winners will get their choice of one of our ebooks. So, and then we're also doing the 31 Days of Christmas sale. When this episode goes live, it'll be the last day for a 25% discount on all of our coffee-inspired patterns. And then starting Sunday the 15th through Saturday the 21st will be the 25% discount on all of our sock patterns. And there's like 40 some odd of them. There's a lot. Coupon code is 31DOC for Days of Christmas, as shown here on the screen. Now I'm second guessing myself. Whatever it says on the screen, that's the coupon code. And you can use it as many times as you like. There's no limit. And we hope you're able to get your hands on some patterns that you might be interested in knitting. I am continuing to do Vlogmas every day in December. So it's a short video, usually somewhere around the 10-minute mark. Some days a little shorter, some days a little longer, but it's just kind of the day in my life, as well as announcing the Random Acts of Kindness winner for each day on that. And that's on our YouTube channel. Okay, Dammy, let's talk about how much we appreciate the fact that we have such amazing community and support for the podcast. We love you guys. You're amazing. So we especially thank those of you who are able to support us financially, because it does cost money to do a podcast. For example, I thought you were getting pink for after the credits.
That was now.
No.
I'm getting it right now.
Okay. I thought it was for the Christmas karaoke after the credits.
For both.
Okay. So, it does cost money to do a podcast. I think her tail just went in front of the camera. Yeah, for example, I shipped out a bunch of the Artistic Autumnal OWL prizes last week.
And this one's like, her pay to be a co-star is exorbitant.
Do we pay you a lot of money? Or we pay you a lot of snacks, treats,
Yeah.
and pets? So there are 3 main ways that you can support us financially. First is Patreon, which is a site where you pledge a certain amount a month to your favorite creatives. You earn rewards based on what level you donate at. It's a great way to support your favorite creatives. So, Dammy, if somebody wants to sign up for that or wants to learn more, where should they go?
Patreon.com/geekygirlsknit.
What's another way?
There's a PayPal button in the sidebar of our website if they'd like to make a one-time donation.
And we are Amazon.com.co.uk and .ca affiliates. If you're going to shop on Amazon, if you go to our website first, look in the sidebar or at the bottom of the show notes and click on your appropriate Amazon. Do your shopping as normal, and we earn a little bit of money back based on what you purchase. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it's a great way to support the podcast by doing something you would be doing anyway. All right. Well, thanks for sticking through with us for this long episode. We hope you've enjoyed it. We hope that you're having a wonderful month of holidays and happy crafting. And whatever.
She's just warming up.
Oh, you're warming up for the Christmas karaoke? Stay tuned for after the credits for Christmas karaoke. Dammy, did you tell them where to find us online?
You can find us at geekygirlsknit.com. There are links to everywhere else we are online. YouTube, iTunes, Ravelry, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc.
All right. Happy crafting, and we'll talk to you again next week. Bye. You didn't say bye.
Bye.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. Oh. All right. Next week is going to be our official Christmas karaoke episode, which is kind of weird because we've had a very much shorter December, it feels like, because Thanksgiving was so late. But next week is the episode before Christmas. So stay tuned for next week's episode where we sing during every single segment. Happy holidays. Bye.